Do you know what sound is the most frightening in the world? It is not a scream, and it is not an explosion. It is the sound of you falling silent. The second you stop responding to provocations, the moment you stop making excuses, and when your phone stops lighting up with instant replies, in that exact moment you become the greatest threat to everyone around you. You become a black hole in their habitual reality. Most people are open books. After reading a few pages, they can be thrown away or used as a coaster for a coffee mug because they are predictable and cheap. But you are about to learn how to lock your book and keep the key. In the next 20 minutes, we will explore the silence protocol. I will show you how to use the absence of words to trigger paranoia in your enemies and how to force liars to expose themselves. We will dive into why Carl Jung believed that your ability to be unavailable is the only path to true power over your destiny. The world is a constant machine of noise designed to keep you weak. You have been trained since childhood to be available and to answer every question and to justify your every move. By doing this, you are leaking your life force. Every time you open your mouth to defend your reputation, you are giving away your power. You are handing the remote control of your emotions to whoever decided to provoke you. Silence is the only way to take that remote back and crush it. When you enter a room and stay silent, you are not just being quiet. You are creating a psychological vacuum. Humans are biologically programmed to seek feedback. When you deny them that feedback, their brains begin to spin out of control. They start to wonder what you are thinking and what you know that they do not. This uncertainty is the beginning of your influence. Carl Jung saw the human psyche as a closed energy system. Every word you speak is a valve that releases pressure. When someone attacks you, they are trying to force you to open that valve. They want you to explode so they can see what is inside you. If you remain a closed system, the pressure does not leave you. Instead, it builds up into a cold and focused presence. This is what people feel when they say someone has a heavy or powerful aura. It is simply the energy that person refused to waste on mindless talk. Think about your last argument. You probably spent hours thinking of the perfect comeback. You wanted to win. But in the world of dark psychology, the only way to win is to refuse to play. By staying silent, you deny the other person the satisfaction of a reaction. Their anger finds no target, and it eventually turns inward. They become the ones who are drained, while you remain whole. Let us look at the wisdom of Niccolo Machiavelli. He understood that a leader who is understood too well is a leader who can be replaced. If people know your motives, they can predict your moves. If they can predict your moves, they can trap you. Silence is your best disguise. In any professional setting, information is the primary currency. Most people are broke because they spend their information as soon as they get it. They brag about their projects and they complain about their bosses. They reveal their alliances and their fears. A master of silence does the opposite. You listen and you scan. While others are talking, they are revealing the hierarchy of their values. They are telling you exactly how to manipulate them and how to please them and how to hurt them. By saying nothing, you give them no such map to your own soul. You remain a mystery, and in the world of power, mystery is the sister of fear. The silence protocol has specific laws. The first is the law of the projection of the void. When you are silent, you become a mirror. People cannot tolerate a lack of information, so they project their own internal world onto you. A guilty person will look at your silence and assume you are judging them. A liar will look at your silence and assume you have found them out. You do not need to accuse anyone of anything. You simply need to be silent and watch as they begin to explain things you never asked about. This is how you catch a liar. You do not catch them with clever questions. You catch them by letting a silence stretch 3 seconds too long. Their discomfort will force them to fill the gap with a lie, and every lie has a crack. You just have to wait for the crack to appear. The second law is information asymmetry. In every interaction, the person who knows more has the advantage. Most people think that to get information, you must ask questions. But questions can be defensive. Silence is offensive. When you are silent in a conversation, the other person feels a subconscious pressure to provide value. They will start sharing secrets and details just to keep the social flow alive. You are collecting weapons while they are disarming themselves. The third law is the destruction of the narcissistic script. Toxic individuals and narcissists are like actors on a stage. They need your emotional response to feel alive. If you give them anger, they win. If you give them tears, they win. If you give them silence, you are essentially turning off the lights in the theatre and walking out. They are left alone in the dark with no audience. This is the only way to truly defeat a person who thrives on drama. Let us talk about gravitational presence. True charisma is not about being the life of the party. It is about the weight of your words. If you speak 1,000 words a day, each word is worth nothing. If you speak 10 words a day, each word is a diamond. The most influential people in history understood this. They spoke in short and clear sentences. They never repeated themselves. They allowed their silence to emphasize their points. When you speak less, people listen more. They lean in to catch what you're saying. They treat your opinion with respect because it is a rare resource. This is gravitational presence. It is the ability to command a room through the sheer density of your character. The fourth law is the conscious exit. This is a tactic used by the most successful negotiators. When an argument is reaching a peak, or when a deal is being discussed, you simply stop. You collect your things and you leave without a final explanation. This creates a state of psychological tension known as the Zeigarnik effect. People remember unfinished tasks much better than completed ones. By leaving the conversation unfinished, you ensure that the other person will spend the next several hours or even days thinking about you. They will play the scene over and over in their head. They will wonder what they said wrong. You have occupied their mind without saying a word. The fifth law is the 5-second pause. This is a practical tool you can use every day. When someone asks you a question or makes a comment, wait 5 full seconds before you respond. Look them directly in the eyes. You are a sovereign individual who chooses when and how to engage with the world. We must also understand the connection between silence and the shadow as described by Carl Jung. Jung believed that every person has a dark side, which is a collection of all the parts of ourselves we have rejected. Most people spend all their energy trying to hide their shadow. They talk and they smile and they act nice to prove they are good people. Silence is the only place where you can meet your shadow and make peace with it. When you are silent for the world, you are finally talking to yourself. This internal dialogue is what builds true strength. A person who has faced their own darkness is not afraid of the darkness in others. Your silence is a sign that you do not need the world's validation because you have already found your own. This makes you untouchable. A person who does not need anything from others cannot be manipulated. The sixth law is the concealment of motives. Never justify your actions. If you decide to change your job or end a relationship or move to a new city, you do not owe anyone an explanation. When you explain your motives, you are essentially asking for permission. You are putting yourself in a subordinate position. By acting in silence, you demonstrate that you are the sole authority in your life. People may be angry or confused, but they will ultimately respect your autonomy. Silence is the ultimate expression of self-ownership. The seventh law is the power of digital silence. In an age of instant gratification, your unavailability is a premium product. If you answer every text in a minute, you are telling the world that your time is worth nothing. You are showing that you have nothing better to do than wait for a notification. By practicing digital silence, you reclaim your time and your dignity. Let people wait. Let them wonder. Your absence will create more value for your presence than your constant availability ever could. This is not about playing games. It is about setting boundaries and protecting your focus. The eighth law is the strategic use of mystery. Humans are attracted to what they do not understand. If you tell everyone everything about yourself, you become a known quantity. You become boring. By keeping parts of your life secret, you create a sense of intrigue. This mystery acts like a magnet. People will want to get closer to you to solve the puzzle. This gives you social leverage. You decide who gets to see the deeper layers of your character. You are the gatekeeper of your own soul. The ninth law is outcome obsession. You must realize that most words spoken in anger or social tension are aimed at proving a point rather than achieving a result. Dark intelligence stays focused on the outcome. If your goal is to win a contract or to protect your family, then winning an argument is irrelevant. Sometimes the best way to get the result you want is to stay silent and let the other person think they have won the verbal battle. While they are celebrating their empty victory, you are quietly moving toward your objective. Silence is the cloak that hides your progress. The 10th law is the courage to be misunderstood. This is perhaps the hardest part of the silence protocol. When you stop explaining yourself, people will make up their own stories. They will call you cold or arrogant or even dangerous. You must be willing to accept this reputation. You cannot be a powerful person and a popular person at the same time. Popularity requires constant compromise and people-pleasing. Power requires the ability to stand alone in your truth. Your silence is the filter that removes the weak people from your life and attracts those who are strong enough to handle your depth. In conclusion, your silence is a weapon of self-defense and a tool for self-mastery. It is the sound of a person who has taken back their power from a world that wants to steal it. I challenge you to start today. In your next meeting, your next family dinner, or your next confrontation, choose the path of silence. Watch the faces of those around you. See the suéter and the anxiety and the desperation that begin to surface when you refuse to play the social game. You are not being mean. You are being sovereign. You are being a black hole in a world of blinding and useless light. If you have stayed with me this far, it is because you recognize the truth in these words. You are tired of being the open book that everyone reads and throws away. You are ready to lock your story and become the master of your own narrative. Take this knowledge and use it wisely. Protect your energy and protect your peace. The journey into the silence is not easy because the world will try to scream at you to bring you back into the noise. But if you can endure the quiet, you will find a version of yourself that is more powerful than you ever imagined. Subscribe to the shadow and do not turn away from the darkness. It is the only place where the stars are visible. Leave the phrase, "I am the master of my silence," in the comments below. Let it be a signal to others who are also waking up. The loudest changes are coming, and they will arrive in total silence. Control your tongue, and you will control your destiny. Master the silence before the world masters you.